Have you got kids?
Yeah.
Starting the sex education yet? Never too early to start. Started when my oldest was in the womb. Use a condom! Take precautions! Anyway, it's just what two teenage girls need is sexual tips from a 51-year-old. No, but by tips, no, that makes me sound a bit too much like Jimmy Savile. I mean advice. Sex advice, that's a bit better. Not very much better, but a bit better. I had one bit of advice from my father. My father was a builder, a man from the rough end of Newton Abbot, a man who thought income tax was optional and for other people. A bit like Donald Trump, really. Can't believe that's the biggest word I've got, biggest laugh I've got, but saying the word cunt. Anyway, I'll move on. We were coming home from a Plymouth Argyle game, and we were going to support a shit football team. I know Mark supports Birmingham, they're really shit, but Plymouth Argyle. Supporting Plymouth Argyle for 40 years, it's like swimming in a sea of shit. And by a sea of shit, I mean the worst sea you can ever imagine, where you're swimming with soiled nappies and used condoms and wet wipes and plastic tampon applicators. A bit like surfing in Cornwall in the 1980s. And you swim to an island of hope, and you get on the island of hope, and it's a shit island with a fruit taste of shit. And you have to buy a ill-fitted, badly made, badly designed football shirt that's shit. And it's only a matter of time before a tsunami of shit washes you back into the sea of shit. But you support your football team, because it's just what you do. And we were coming back from a Plymouth Argyle game. On the day my father gave me some sex education. It wasn't the man puts his tummy banana in the lady's ever so warm place. It was it was much, much worse than that. I don't remember the match very much. I don't remember we won 5-1 against Chester City. I don't remember we went unbeaten until the 16th of January 1982. I don't remember Colin Randall scored 2 goals. I remember it for another reason. My father addressed the issues of my bed sheets. And he said, as he drove his 4 Cortina gear on the A38, was top of the range 4 Cortina gear, it had a radio. And he turned the radio off and he said words that have haunted me to this day. He said, boy, I've got something to say to you. I said, what's that? He said, Mother says you's wanking a lot. No! Oh, no! Now, on reflection, 35 years later, I would have said, I always stop when she comes in the room. Or what do you mean by a lot? Or I stop when I ejaculate blood. That's good advice for teenage boys. When you shoot blood, it's time to stop wanking, boys. But anyway, I was but at the time, I was embarrassed. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. Mother went to church. I'm going to hell full of masturbating teenagers, wanking furiously all the time. A bit like Bristol University halls of residence. But anyway, we were going on, and your father knowing your wank's bad enough. But when he addresses the issue in relation to what you should do about your wanking, it gets much, much worse. And what he said was, if I were you, just before I finish, I'd put a sock over the end of it, and Mother will never know. Yes, my father was giving me advice on how to use a wank sock. Ladies and gentlemen, when you do the washing and you find that loose sock, you think, oh, there's a sock missing. You may wonder, where's that sock? It's full of seminal fluid. Stuck to the inside of the washing machine drum. Anyway, my father now buys me socks for Christmas. They're ribbed for my pleasure. Anyway, how much time have we got left?
Sorry, keep going.
All right. Anal fingering. Yes or no? Almost ruined my marriage, it really did. But anyway, for a white male in the 40s, the most common cause of death is suicide. And I'm now 50, I'm 51, so I've got less chance of hanging myself, which is nice. But the most common cause of death for a white male in his 50s is bowel cancer. So I've got to spend the next 10 years looking at my stools every morning for changes in consistency and texture and taste. But I had a little issue there, and I had to go down and see Dr. Mayweather, my GP, and I had to have a little bit of examination, and there was a female doctor in there, and she said, "Go and slip behind the couch and take your trousers down and assume the position." And I was penetrated. Unlike you people who are born in the 80s and 90s where anal is the vogue, I've heard people down the pub talk about that. After the 60s, we didn't go there. It was a no-go area, anal fingering. But when it happened, I was quite pleasantly surprised. It was quite nice. And now I know he wasn't talking to me. But at the time, when he said, "How does it feel?" I thought it was right to say, "Quite nice, thank you." But when I looked over my shoulder, one doctor was trying not to laugh, and the other doctor was fucking embarrassed. But that led me to take anal stimulation to the marital bed. That was a fucking mistake, that was. So there we were, and how do you approach it? What's the way? I don't know. I put my finger in, and my missus said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Trying to stimulate our sexual relations by putting your finger in my bottom." And I said, "Well, it felt nice at the doctor's." I'm JP Phillips, thank you very much, good night.